Michael Waltz with us right now, the Republican Florida congressman, sits on the House Armed Services Committee, a former Green Beret colonel, so you do not mess with the colonel and congressman. So I'm happy I can ask him tough questions on remote. Kidding. But Congressman, very good to have you. What did you make of what Alex was reporting from Ukraine? A pretty close call for this nuclear power plant. Doesn't take much to sort of quite literally involve all of Europe if that thing's hit.
Yeah, Neil, it's incredibly concerning to have an artillery duel or to have a conventional battle around Europe's largest nuclear plant. The other piece that's concerning is that about 30% of Ukraine's electricity is produced from that plant, and Russia is taking steps to take it offline. You couple that with this winter, their ability to starve Ukraine of gas flowing through the pipelines, and you're essentially starving what's left of Ukraine of any type of energy. So I think Zelensky at this point knows that he has no choice but to try to take it back if the Russians are indeed going to take it offline. And I'm somewhat relieved to see the UN inserting itself at this point.
You know, you have to wonder, though, Congressman, whether it's a suicide mission on the part of Putin. Let's say he goes ahead and damages it. There's radioactive fallout. Well, radioactive fallout can travel and wander and move eastward and into Russia itself. He's got to be comprehending the craziness of that.
Yeah, one could only hope, and that he's applying some kind of rationality to this effort. But on the other hand, I think this entire invasion has been irrational. It's hard to understand what is actually being fed into Putin in terms of intelligence and reporting and how much of his own propaganda he believes. But again, the fear is that he completely takes it offline. They make some type of mistake in doing so, and even if an artillery shell doesn't crash into it, that they make a mistake internally and cause the thing to melt down. So this is just fraught with a nightmare scenario across a number of kind of angles here.
Do you think, Congressman, that Putin is trying to just wear the West down? The only reason why I mention that is, while Germany did indicate today it's there to help Ukraine as long as it takes, we've indicated that, I don't hear the daily drumbeat of constant support from fellow NATO countries that they're all on the same page on this. Are you concerned by that?
I am, Neil. I was just out there in Kyiv. I had a 2-hour-long meeting with President Zelensky. That's top of mind for him. This war falling off the headlines and the Europeans backtracking. Germany specifically, they have way under-delivered from what they promised. If you look at what they've actually delivered in terms of military aid, it's a fraction of what they promised, and what they promised is a fraction of what the United States has actually delivered. So the Europeans need to step up. It's easy for them to talk tough now in the middle of a heat wave, but this winter, when Russia starts tapping the brakes on gas flowing into Europe, Zelensky and I share the concern, is very afraid of even further European backtracking.
If I can just move another halfway across the world while I have you, Congressman, we're getting word right now that U.S. Navy ships are indeed, ignoring the threat from China to stay away from the Taiwan Strait. The USS Antietam and the USS Chancellorsville are already there. They say it's routine transit in open, free international waters. Yeah. The Chinese have said just the opposite. Where do you see this going?
Well, it's worth noting, Neil, in the late 90s, the last Taiwan Strait crisis, we put 2 aircraft carriers through the Taiwan Strait. Biden's Pentagon has said that would be too provocative, so that's basically China deterring us. I'm glad to see these 2 ships going through. Why does this matter? Well, about half the world's trade and shipping flows through the Taiwan Strait. About 90% of the biggest types of container ships flow through there. So it's not just China aiming to dominate Taiwan. Taiwan, they aim to dominate the Western Pacific, which would then have China controlling about 50% of global GDP and trade. We cannot allow that to happen. We have to help Taiwan arm itself now, but importantly, we have to reduce our supply chain dependencies from pharmaceuticals to farmland to, I mean, you name it, across the board, computer chips, rare earth, solar panels, rare earth materials. The United States has got to bring those supply chains back home. And if we can't get them in the United States, at least get them in the Western Hemisphere or to an allied country. And that will be a top priority of a future Republican-led Congress.
We shall see. Congressman, thank you very, very much. Michael Waltz of Florida, a former Green Beret colonel. Much more on the implications of all of that after this.